In June 2025, something remarkable happened. A smartphone company, Xiaomi, announced the YU7, its second electric vehicle. And within just 1 hour, it racked up an astonishing 290,000 pre-orders. This wasn't a flashy concept or a marketing experiment. It was a production-ready, road-legal EV launched by a tech company with zero automotive legacy, making waves in the world's most competitive EV market, China. Now compare that with Apple. After more than a decade of work and over $10 billion invested, Apple cancelled its EV project just months earlier. No launch, no pre-orders, nothing to show. But this story isn't just about Xiaomi winning where Apple failed. It's about how Xiaomi is reshaping what it means to build and scale an electric vehicle, not through cutting-edge drivetrain tech or moonshot autonomy, but through digital ecosystems, user-centric design, and rapid execution. So the question is, are we witnessing a fundamental shift in what it takes to lead in the EV era? Let's zoom out for context. By the end of 2024, global EV sales had surged to nearly 17 million units, a 20% year-over-year increase. China led the charge, now accounting for over half the world's EV volume. In fact, electric vehicles make up more than 45% of all new car sales there. But despite this momentum, the road ahead isn't smooth. In the US, enthusiasm is fading. Hybrids are back in fashion. In Europe, EV adoption is hampered by patchy charging infrastructure. Even in China, the market is consolidating fast. Experts say only 15 EV brands will likely survive the next 5 years. In this environment, launching a new EV isn't enough. Survival and leadership depend on speed, strategy, and user retention, which is where Xiaomi's playbook gets interesting. While many EV startups entered the race with bold visions, from autonomous driving to futuristic steering wheel-free cabins, Xiaomi took a more grounded route. Instead of chasing headlines, it leaned into its core competencies, designing affordable, intuitive tech at scale and integrating it seamlessly into people's digital lives. That's what made the SU7, launched in 2024, so distinctive. In China's crowded EV landscape, infotainment systems featuring touchscreens, app connectivity, and voice assistants are standard, even on budget models. But Xiaomi went further. The SU7 wasn't just smart, it was cohesive. Your phone syncs instantly with the car. Navigation, playlists, and climate settings carry over. Even your home devices respond when the car pulls into the driveway. This kind of seamless continuity, from pocket to dashboard to living room, is hard to replicate. And it gave Xiaomi a defensible edge, built on assets that are both valuable and difficult for rivals to imitate. Xiaomi also stood out in execution. From declaring its EV ambitions in 2021 to mass production in 2024, the company moved with remarkable speed, delivering SU7s at a rate of 1 every 76 seconds at its Beijing plant. But it didn't do everything alone. It partnered with BAIC for manufacturing and CATL for battery supply, while focusing internally on software design and the digital user experience, areas aligned with its strengths. This modular strategy mirrored how Xiaomi builds smartphones, combining efficiency with strategic focus. In contrast, Apple took a different path. Determined to control every aspect of its EV, Apple tried to vertically integrate everything: hardware, software, batteries, and manufacturing. But this collided with its actual core competencies. Apple's strength lies in consumer electronics and brand experience, not in large-scale automotive engineering or production logistics. And without those capabilities, its effort to create a car from scratch stalled. It avoided partnerships, aimed for perfection, and lacked timely output. In a fast-moving, capital-intensive industry, That proved fatal. Xiaomi's pragmatic, focused approach highlights an important truth. Success doesn't always come from reinventing the wheel. Sometimes it comes from knowing which parts of the wheel to build yourself and which to source smartly. Let's position Xiaomi in the broader EV ecosystem. BYD is currently dominant, moving over 3 million vehicles in 2024 and overtaking Tesla globally. It thrives on vertical integration, making everything from batteries to chips. But it's also triggered intense price wars in China, hurting profit margins across the board. Tesla, on the other hand, is betting big on autonomy and in-house software. Yet in China, where driver assist tech is already widespread, Tesla's market share has slipped to under 4%, down from 11% just a few years ago. Apple never launched. Despite its clout and resources, it could not define a coherent vision, and its perfectionism stalled execution. Xiaomi didn't play the same game. It didn't try to be the best car maker. It aimed to be the most familiar and the most connected. As of mid-2025, Xiaomi's EVs are still only sold in China, but not for long. The company is eyeing international markets, starting with India, Southeast Asia, and Eastern Europe. Places where Xiaomi already has brand equity through phones, smart devices, and consumer tech. This is a radically different go-to-market approach from Tesla or NIO. Xiaomi's edge isn't disruption, it's familiarity. But make no mistake, expanding beyond Asia will be tough. Western markets come with regulatory hurdles, tariffs, and brand skepticism. That's why Xiaomi's global EV push will likely start small, focused, and regional, building momentum where it already has trust. We're entering a new era of automaking. According to BCG, success now depends on the two-heart model. One heart for hardware, one heart for software. Legacy automakers dominate the mechanical side. Tech players like Xiaomi are catching up on the digital side, and fast. The SU7 and now the YU7 aren't just cars. They're use cases for a broader idea. That a software-native company can redefine mobility, not through radical tech, but through integration, scale, and user experience. Expect others, from Huawei to Sony, to follow this path. Because cars are quickly becoming more than transportation. They're evolving into smart platforms on wheels. Xiaomi didn't set out to beat Tesla on autonomy. It didn't try to outmanufacture BYD. It simply asked a different question. How do you build a car that fits into people's lives and ships on time? For Xiaomi's hundreds of millions of users, the SU7 and YU7 aren't outliers. They're logical extensions of the products they already love. And maybe that's the real revolution here. The next phase of the EV industry won't be won by the fastest or the most luxurious vehicles. It'll be won by those who understand users and design cars that feel like home.